Hello everyone, good morning. This video is for those people who are, how to say, those people who are in a family where you feel suffocated, not supported, misunderstood. You have to please your parents, your guardians, your elders to be at peace in your own home, where you cannot make a decision based on your heart's desire when it comes to important things. And when you comply, then only you get what you asked for. That is too in a controlled way. Whether it's choosing a friendship or choosing a educational path, you agree to whatever your parents say, then only you will get that monetary support. That is a controlled version of love that you receive. And uh, those people who only feel love when you say yes to whatever your guardians say, when you fulfill their expectation, then only you will receive that love, affection, appreciation, anything. Like, you have to earn it by demanding. They demand and you fulfill it by doing what they expect from you, those kind of things. If you are one of those people, you should be in a place of clarity. Take this as a sign from the divine. But it's totally up to you, because there are a lot of people who are not able to differentiate between what actually love is, what is controlled love is. Because children grow into toxic family, they don't know anything else. Their whole world revolves around people who are, no, they are born into the family, the people who they grew up with, their elders, the adults in the family, whether it's parents, grandparents, uncles, aunties, the influence they have from in the form of any kind of authority figure in their life. So the love they receive, they think that is the love. It is not how it is. If a parent is able to expect something from you, if you have a freedom in your own home to say no and they still love you, then that is actually love. If they expect something from you, especially when it comes to certain things that important things, and they may say, well, we know better. Yeah, in some cases that might be the truth, but it is tricky sometimes, because usually what happens in a toxic family, they are unable to break out from that negative belief system, negative behaviors, negative assumptions about life, narrations of life, which restricts growth in a human family. For example, people living in a, let's just say, financially deprived family, their parent repeatedly telling them that this is how your fate also, because that's what you were born into. There is no way to get out of this. This is your fate. You have to adjust it. Those kind of things. If a child grows up thinking that way, they are bred and grown into that belief system. But if a child decides that they are going to break that, they cannot accept such circumstances. For example, such families who say it's just a waste to spend money on education, because at the end of the day, it will not change anything. For example, for females, even for a male, limited belief systems, toxic narrations of life. No, you cannot break out of these kind of things. You cannot break out of that kind of things, because this is your fate. This is your destiny. Our fate and our destiny is in our hand. It's just that we have to do certain things. First thing is, universe always says yes. We have to remember, we are living on earth. Universe is not just earth. There are a lot of things happens in this universe that's beyond our understanding. But there are universal laws that are equally applicable to everybody. The more you know about it, the more it's easier for us to understand. So in order to do that, we have to remember who we are. We are a soul experiencing in a human body. That parents that we have, the influence that we have in the form of parents, grandparents, siblings, aunts, uncles, that becomes our part of our life because of our karmic relationships from our past. It is up to us to break away from such things before we go into real suffocation and breaking off from that. For example, there are many people marry off their daughters into completely strangers, but they do not allow their even sons do that love marriage because of that ego. because it cannot happen. They are okay with their daughter spending their whole life with a stranger and letting them live that way. And there are many people who cry only after their daughters die in that such marriage, but they reject helping such daughters and say adjust. See, until this happens, they don't learn. Even after that, they only cry, but they won't change. So if you're such a daughter or a son, even if your parents are into something very toxic belief system, means any belief system that suffocates you, any behavior as well suffocates you, it is internally bad for you, even if it is good for your parents. It's up to you to make the decision that whether you want to stick to that negative belief and behavior system, or you break out from that and make your own life based on your heart's desire. You might have to do a lot, but it's up to you whether you want to suffer and live a very limited, congested, suffocated life, letting others make decisions for you for the rest of your life, or you want to take that responsibility in your hand and change everything. This is exactly why people who are people who actually work for government services pushing their children also into government services, even if the children is not into it. It might work out, it might not work out. This is just one simple example. In any areas of life, whether building a friendship or having a platonic relationship or having a romantic relationship, choosing a career, choosing a job, choosing a hobby, choosing to follow your heart. So these people who break out from these kind of things, they do something which their heart tells them that you do this. When they take a chance on their heart's desire, one universal law is universe always says yes. Universe is always saying yes to whatever we say. So it's in our hand to change our fate or destiny, whatever we are born into. Whatever circumstances we are born into is just the circumstances that we are born into. It doesn't have the ability to impact our life if we decided to break up from that circumstances. We just have to have the desire that this is my wish, I'm going for it. First thing we have to know, we have to have a desire. Second thing, we have to have confidence in ourselves. Whether you believe in any God, whether you believe in any religion, it doesn't matter. Self-belief in self, that's very important. Third thing, you have to remember that universe always says yes. Divine's always there to help. And even 1,000 people says that is not even possible. The dream people see, it's not up to them because nobody has achieved something. There's always a chance to make something out of anything, like out of nothingness. There are a lot of people who achieved a lot of things in life because they followed their heart. They never stopped. It might took them 60 years to achieve that. If they had listened to other people saying it's not possible, they would have given up. Because they did not give up, but they kept believing in it, it worked out for them. So in order to walk in that path, one has to be sure this is what they want. Second thing, they have to believe in themselves. And third thing, they have to realize that universe always says yes. Means if anything from outside, even your own mind, self-doubts, it's our job to convince ourselves that no, it's happening. Because we have a free will on earth. Next, surrender into the divine. We just doesn't need to know how things will work out. We just we believe that it will work out. It is working out. Simple. It's like taking control of our own life and saying no to anybody from outside. Whether it's human or self-thought that comes from within, or anybody, friends, circle, saying it is not possible to achieve those kind of things. Anything. And most important, very, very much important thing is you have to be fearless. Because when you're fearless, universe recognizes that and rewards that kind of individual. Because of that, people achieve a lot of things because they're willing to take risks. They're willing to take a leap of faith in a path where they don't know exactly what's happening. Even if you don't know exactly how to achieve it. For example, using the free will, we just need to know what is my next step in life is to achieve certain things. All we need to know is that. We only need to know what's next step is. We don't need to know how to build a house completely from A to Z. We just need to know what's our next step is. Our desire is to build a house for ourselves. And what we have to do is ask the universe, I just want to know my next step. And sincerely asking it and letting it go. Asking just once is enough. Having a faith is very important. Once we ask, we let it go. And we have to be in a place where we have to convince ourselves. Since I asked just once, the answer will come. Answers immediately comes, usually, if you believe. Depend on your karmic connections, depending on how much trauma that you have, people self-doubting, confusing themselves, and before this happens, letting that wish go. It all happens because of fear. Why? What if it doesn't happen? What if it falls through? Falls apart. Something like that. All the fear is because of the influence of the earth. Actually, there is no fear. Only on earth people experience fear. There is no fear in spirit world. This is only for those people who keep wondering about, whether your family loves you or not. It's up to you, because a lot of people believe in, family is everything, family is everything. No, they are not like that, they are not like that. If it is that what you believe, it's up to you. I'm not implying, because everybody's life is different, everyone's life experience is different. Everybody's experience, even if you're born in the same family with the same parents and grandparents, even if you have 2-3 children in the family, each child's experience with the same parents and same grandparents is different. Just because your sibling says, your parents are so nice, doesn't mean that that same parents are same with you as well. That is how things can change between siblings as well. So it's up to you. If it is toxic for you, in any family, if you are the one who has to please your parents, to be loved, be supported, that is not actually, that is not a loving family. You can check it. Who is the authority figure in your family that you cannot say no to? Means they have the authority over you to make those decisions. So you have to be dependent on their decision to make decisions in your favor every single time, even if it's suffocating for you. Are you willing to live that way? See, usually kids grow out of this, but if it is very toxic family, the parents never let this clutch go. They have 100 ways to make children stay. By telling those children, how much they suffered in their own childhood, by making those children guilty for every single thing they suffered, and telling children, look how much, they did to raise these kids, by making their kids stay in their life. You have to remember, you have to make a choice. If that is too toxic for you, whether it's up to you to decide whether you want to stay and serve those people, or you want to build your own life, be stronger, and then if you decide, support them from afar. So it's up to you. That is why a lot of people who go abroad never they never go back to their family, or they never feel that connection with their family, because they feel suffocated. And it's not because of the selfishness, it's self-preservation, because it's normal that people want that freedom, peace of mind, people not poking their nose in our private life, making us awkward or suffocated for their curiosity, just to fulfill their curiosity, because they don't know that they should not cross that boundary, because that's how they grew up, and giving suggestions because that's what their life been. For example, these aunties, uncles saying that this is how life is, you have to adjust, you have to take it, and you have to live this way, because they didn't had any options to come out of that. You still have options to come out of that, because there are a lot of people, especially men or women, conveniencing their next generation, whether their own kids or their cousins, or their own sisters' children, something like that. This is how life is, this is how man's supposed to be, this is how woman's supposed to be, this is what woman's life is, this is how man's life is, you have to be adjusted out. No. If it is not acceptable for you, you have to make that decision. Everybody's life is different, but you have to be in a place of loving towards yourself, Do not let anybody make any negative decision for your sake. In order to do that, one must learn to love themselves at most without feeling guilty. That is not selfishness, that is just self preservation. When somebody, anybody, learns to love themselves by default, most likely, most of the time, they know what is right for them, what is not right for them. If anybody experience a situation, any person tells them something and it feels like a no, they should be able to say no, no matter who it is. That is how we preserve ourselves. If we let everybody take control of our lives, so then we cannot live a happy life at all. Being at the mercy of someone else is never good, because if they can make you happy, they can make you sad and depressed too. That is how control works. That is why people who are in a place where they are not depending on anybody for finances, for emotional happiness, no matter which kind of relationship they will be, they are fully having the freedom to walk away. So if you're in a relationship, a platonic relationship or a romantic relationship, if you are in a place financially and emotionally, no matter what, if you're in a place of walking away, if it is not serving you, that relationship, you must be in a place of be able to walk away from such a relationship. Otherwise, it means that you never had a right to walk away. It's a codependent situation. That is how it is, because you want to leave, you cannot leave because XYZ reason, whether it's financial reasons or emotional entanglement, or you feel like, well, this is how it is, let's adjust those kind of things for children, for this and that. No. So this is very individual. You cannot force somebody to walk away from someone else unless they themselves decide. So this is up to you to make this decision. What happens is, usually people who grow up in a very toxic family, those children doesn't know the value of true love means. All they know is controlled love. So they end up confusing themselves, usually confuse themselves. Their family is very suffocating, but at times it feels like their parents and their siblings love them too. So they ask themselves, well, they love me, so it's suffocating, but I don't know what to do, those kind of things. No. You ask yourself, if you say no to them when they expect yes from you, will they still be giving you that love, affection, support, whatever? No. If that love, support, that attention is conditional, then it is not love. So it's better to create a life based on self-love, self-respect, self-worth, and becoming financially and emotionally independent, and never let anybody emotionally manipulate you, guilt tripping by saying this or that, or blaming you that you are a selfish. It's okay to be selfish if someone else is selfish with you. If another person is extremely selfish with us, even if we become selfish with that person, it means we are just trying to protect ourselves. We are not being selfish, it's them being selfish. So these kind of thinking can come out of you if you are in love with yourself. So one must be financially independent and emotionally independent to to experience that self-love within themselves. So it becomes easier to make decisions in life when you're financially independent and when you're emotionally independent as well. Means you're not dependent on somebody else to make you happy. You have to realize that there are thousands of people out there. You don't need to limit ourselves. If it's better to be alone than being with the wrong people. And it's our job to not to hand ourselves freely for wrong people. Just because they give you here and there and it feels like a nice things to you. If we love ourselves, we will not be handing ourselves to any wrong person, isn't it? So this is how you can understand whether your family is really a toxic family. If it is so, what else you can do? It's up to you. It's up to you, because these are the traps. Happens because of the religious belief system, social, society tells you do this is right, that is right, and cultural belief system, and the family, teaches you this is right, that is right. Many people stuck in this kind of family because they feel responsible for the such grandparents, parents, or any siblings or aunt or uncle, these kind of things, because they feel like if they cannot run away from it because it's their responsibility to handle all of those things. If it is too toxic, it's at most important that we protect ourselves too without being guilty about it. If those people can take us for granted, for you for granted, is that okay for you? If it is okay, then you have to suffer. That is you making the choice. If it is not okay for you, then it's in your hand to make a decision to change that in a way that you unburden yourself from toxic responsibility that was never yours to take it for. Especially those adult kids who had to grow up very fast in a family where they had to look after their younger kids, behaving like the adults in their childhood. They never had their own childhood because their parents expected them to behave like an adult, because they said, you're an adult, you have to be kinder to your younger siblings. No, that is not how it is. Children are supposed to let live like a children, no matter whether born first or last. In such a family, these adult kids are usually the one who are the sheeps, the black sheep, because they feel suffocated, they don't know what to do. If they're empathetic, they feel stuck in it. So it's up to you to stop and prioritize yourself. Be a little selfish, fill your own cup, become your own person, love yourself first, and have that financial and emotional independence. And without hating them, walking away from such situations, people, and circumstances is actually good. It is actually spiritual experience, spiritual experience for people. That's all.